So thank you guys again. Happy Tuesday. I'm happy to see so many of you on the training today. So I'm going to keep it really simple as usual. I'm going to focus more, especially on Tuesdays, on sales techniques, strategies, motivation, stuff like that. Today, I'm specifically talking about sales motivation ideas, specifically to pick up the phone and make phone calls. I don't know about you guys, but when I started in the industry, I struggled with this so much. I mean, it was just a very big challenge for me to get on the phone. I still struggle to this day. So uh, I don't know why, I'm an awkward human being. I'm awkward when I speak on the phone and just talk to people in general. So, until you get your niche and you understand what you're selling, it becomes easier because you know what you're talking about. But when you're starting out, it can be incredibly challenging, until you're 100% comfortable and you know what you're doing, you can answer all objections. Before then it's always a little bit of a struggle. However, I'm going to just kind of go over some stuff, some techniques that I use that I have to, think about, remind myself, and write them down because it's important. It's really important, and just focus on them. Sorry, there's still people coming in, you guys. Focus on them for the next week and a half. I give you, or the next week rather. I'm challenging you guys to do so, and just try to see if it makes sense for you. We'll touch base on it again next week and see how you did, how it went, if it helped, if it didn't help, or if you found some other strategies that you can tell all of us about that are helping you overcome, just getting on the phone and making these phone calls. So first and foremost, the most important one, you have to get clear on why you want or need to be successful. That is the biggest, it's like anything in life. What is your why? I mean, same thing we ask our clients, or, anybody we're talking to, what is your why? Why do you need this job so bad? Why do you want to sell so bad? And that can be like anything personal, it can be anything from getting your children to college, just saving up money for a mortgage, paying off debt, becoming financially free, anything like that. But it has to be perfectly clear. So this is what I do that motivates me a lot. I honestly, I'll get on Word and I'll print it out and I'll put it on my screen. I'll print 5 out. I'll put it on my fridge. I'll put it on my bathroom. I'll print it everywhere, all over my home. That way I can look at it, you guys, every single day when I wake up. It's on my bedside and I'm looking at it. And what is my why? My children and their financial freedom. Okay. So I have to remind myself, I put a picture of them. So it's on my desk, when I'm working. So I'm constantly being reminded, because trust me, you guys, like I don't want to make these phone calls some days. Sometimes I get lazy and, I've made so much money this year and it's like, do I really have to pick up the phone today? Man, like, do I really? No, I don't have to, but I know I'm not done, and I gave myself a goal for the next 5 to 10 years. And to me, it's imperative. I want my children to truly have financial freedom, not just be stable, not just pay for their educations, but to be free. They don't have to they don't have to worry about anything they don't want to. And that to me, is my why. So, and that can be different from everybody, like I said. So number 2 for me is know exactly what I have to sell in order to achieve my personal goals. So let's just say my personal goal is to sell 50 grand to 100 grand every single month. I really, I really liked what Karina said yesterday. This is a numbers game. Until you understand what your numbers look like and what your numbers you need to achieve or phone calls you need to make in order to achieve your goals, you're never, ever going to be successful. I mean, you have to really, really look at the metrics of what you're doing every single day. And it's the only way you're going to know to set personal goals. You know what I'm saying? So if something is not working, I'm not talking about a quota. I think what matters is that you get specific about what you need to sell in order to achieve those goals. So numbers, again, how many phone calls do I have to make every single day? How many people do I have to speak to? How many closes do I have to make once a week? How many closes do I have to make once a month? So on and so forth. I think you guys get the idea. So number 3 for me, break down your activities on a daily basis. Super, super important. If you don't break it down, you guys, I mean, I can tell you when I started, my calendar was full, and at the end of the day, I would look at the calendar, but I wasn't following it. I wasn't following on an hourly basis. I wasn't following it, you know, just on a daily basis, to be honest. I would look at it once a week and be like, oh my God, I have so much to do. And then at the end of the day, I'd look back and be like, wait a minute, like I didn't get any of this done. Like, where did my time go? And, when I started tracking my time, I started realizing that I was doing other stuff. It wasn't important because I started working at home. I would get distracted. I'd go fold laundry or, go pick up, go outside and sweep my patio or whatever, anything that would get me distracted, but I would lose time. So if you're not tracking your time, if you're not setting a calendar reminders, I have so many reminders a day, you guys, I hear dinging and, reminders in my sleep. So it helps. It'll keep you on track, but it's super, super important to break down your daily activities. How long is it truly going to take you to make dinner for your family, or to prep dinner? Because everybody can say, oh, it's going to take me exactly 1 hour, but you're slow as hell in the kitchen and it's going to take you, maybe 2 or 3 hours. Then you have to allocate your time correctly, and you have to make the most of the most important time, if that makes sense. So, let's see. So make your activity, number 4, make your activity the most important objective each day. So a lot of people miss this because they're focused on making sure that you're hitting your sales numbers on a weekly or monthly basis. But truly, you guys, honestly, what really matters is your sales activity, because when you're active and consistent, those numbers are always going to be met. Once you know what numbers you have to hit, and like we said, when you break down exactly what you have to do in order to achieve your goals, as long as you're consistent with your activity, you are always going to meet your numbers. You have to be obsessed with your pipeline. Obsessed. My rule is, if I don't have 25 people to speak to on a weekly basis, I'm not going to get to 100 grand in my first year. So that's what I said when my goal was 100 grand, right? If I didn't have 25 people in my pipeline that I was speaking to on a weekly basis or following up with, not just speaking to or setting an appointment, 25 people, 25 people that I was either closing or first call or, follow-ups or presentations, whatever it is, 25 people in your pipeline every single week. That's the way you'll be financially successful in your business. So yeah, make your activity the most important objective every single day. So let's see, number 5, this is a really big one, you guys, because I know a lot of you have children and families, and it can be really overwhelming to pick up the phone when, you have stuff around you that you can't, you feel overwhelmed because you can't get to the phone. So delegate non-sales activities to others. So for example, here's a really good one. I'm a single parent, but I know some of you guys have partners that sometimes, they can't help you, or you have to figure out a way to delegate some of these activities. I mean, if your children can help you, do something that is not going to take away from your sales activity. For example, I have an older child. I have a 15-year-old that, I always tell her, just help me for 30 minutes, get the children away. So in those 30 minutes, I always dedicate that time to make my phone calls. Why? Because I know the kids are going to be fine. I just need them away for 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, you can get so much done, you guys. So many calls. I do about 25 calls in those 30 minutes, and I might set appointments. Just, you have to learn how to delegate, and maybe not to your child, but if there's anything that I can do to help you guys that you just cannot get to the phone, if there's somebody that I need to call for you and you just can't do it because you have something going on with, I don't know, your children, you have a play to go to or a dance to go to, just reach out and delegate and be like, hey, is there any way that you can help me today? I really need to call this person and follow up. I absolutely can. Y'all know I always go above and beyond to help agents, but you have to let me know in time. So same thing with your family, same thing with your partner. So that's a really important one. Okay, so next one, use a selling system that actually works. So if you come from an agency or if you have experience in sales already, and let's just say you're starting to sell IBC leads, but your technique is not working. You just got 30 leads, you spent the $1,800, something you're doing is not working, right? Because you haven't sold a single one, you haven't closed anything, people are not calling you back, something's up, right? It is imperative, you guys, that you reach out sooner or later so that we can help you, create a selling system for yourself. And everybody's selling system is different. But when you watch somebody close, when you watch somebody set the appointments, it helps you, right? I mean, it's going to give you an idea, a mindset of what it is exactly, the steps that it's going to take to close and what you have to do in order to be successful with what you're getting, And it's happened to me before. I thought I was a badass at selling one thing, and then I started selling a different type of product. I think it was, this was a long time ago. When I went from final expense to selling mortgage protection, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Not a clue, not a single clue. And I ended up losing batches and batches and thousands of dollars worth of leads because I had no clue. So I had to reach out to someone and be like, listen, my system that I had for final expense is not working. What am I doing wrong? They're like, well, everything, because it's completely different. I didn't know that. But, in order to prevent that, don't lose thousands and thousands of dollars. What I recommend you do is reach out immediately. If something is not working within your first, let's say 3 or 4 appointments, pick up the phone and call us. We're here to help you. We'll figure it out together. Mario and I have sold everything from, every type of insurance product, and other stuff too. But yeah, y'all get what I'm saying. So, and this is a really important one, you guys. I always encourage this. Celebrate even your smallest success. It is so important. If you set 1 appointment a day, dang, like that's more than you set yesterday. That's more than you set last week. That's more than you set the month before. Just celebrate everything that you're doing, because it's so important for your mindset, and it's important to keep yourself motivated. It's when you start not being motivated, let's be real. Like, I can't reach out to everybody, every single one of you every day and be like, hey, what's up? How's it going? Good for you. Good job. I try to, but I can't, because I have to work too. Everybody, I have to spend time with agents as well. But if I could, I would, trust me. But it's so important to celebrate any small victory. Shit, if you followed your calendar, just half of the day, you did everything that you said you were going to do as an agent. That is a big deal, you guys. It's just one step further to making you successful. So celebrate it, embrace it, be happy about it. So another one is examine your setbacks. So anything that you're doing, learn from it. Like I said, if something is not working for you, some people call it a failure. I don't. I call it a setback, because this is new to all of us, right? Nobody's an expert here. I still don't think I'm the best at sales. Like I said, I'm super awkward. Y'all know how I am. Especially those that have worked with me, know how I speak to people. So it's a learning experience, you guys. Anything that we can do, any mistake that we're making, it's always a setback. It's not a failure. Like, we're not done until we're done. The only time we're a failure is if we quit. Like, if you quit, that's when you failed. So don't quit. It's just a learning experience. It's a setback. Listen, we are learning from it. Don't do it again. Let's not mess up again. But yeah, it's not a failure. Sorry, you guys. I think I'm getting a cough, so my throat is really dry. Okay. And the last one I have is focus on small steps consistently. So taking small steps is so important for success on any level, whether it's getting, your kid through school, or an adult just working on developing your career. Small steps are crucial. So, start today with a calendar, organize your calendar, write down your why, do what I did, print 10 of them, put them all over your house. What is your why? What is the goal? And it doesn't have to be $100,000, you guys. It can be, let's just do, $5,000, $10,000 this month. That is going to help you a lot. That is going to pay for your lead costs. It's going to pay for your bills. Like, that can be 1 contract. That can be 2 contracts. That can be 3. It doesn't matter. Just start small, but start, write your why down, write down the goals, write down the steps you're going to take today, this week, how many people are you calling? I was really happy to see that Mario had the goal tracker, because it's so important to write down your goals and to write down what you're going to do. So this might be really silly to everybody, but aside from having a goal tracker every week, I have a routine that I do every day. So when I wake up, this is super silly, and I can't believe I'm sharing it with people, but I get a list of the people I have to call. I look at it, I get in front of the mirror, and I tell myself that I'm going to sell 1 person from this batch of leads this week. Just 1. one of them. Why? Because they want it, because they need it, and because I am here to help them. They don't know this information, but they requested it for me. And I'll be damned if I don't sell at least one, because I know these people need my help every single day. Then, I have other little routines that I do. I'll get like in a mindset to sell. I'll listen to like, my goodness, rap and, I don't know if you've all ever watched Rocky. I'm sure everybody has listened to Rocky. So the training music videos, I always listen to them and they motivate the hell out of me, you guys. I just want to start like running around the block and selling to everybody. I want to go to my neighbors' homes and knock on the doors. So get yourself set up, set yourself up, write stuff down. Yes, I have the tiger, Hernan. I have the tiger and all that stuff. Yes, I'm ready to sell when I wake up in the morning. So yeah, small steps, you guys. So that's all I have. I'm going to go around and ask everybody what y'all thought, what you think, if you have any ideas to share with the team. So let's see, who is going to go first? Myra, talk to me. What are your thoughts? What do you think? I know you're newer, but.
Yeah, I like it. I like the points that you shared.
Mm-hmm.
It's very basic, but they are very powerful. Especially if you don't have no other choice. Like if you don't got time to go back to school and get a degree, you don't got time to, because life just happens, and
Absolutely.
like it's definitely a good plan that I see. And like I remember what Karina said yesterday too, that it's a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
And I did some digging and I was like, I remember hearing somewhere along the line when it comes to selling, it's like a third of a third of a third.
Yep.
And I wrote that down on my notes when you said, have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a question in that regard. Like,
Yeah.
what have you seen like transpire like in your work ethic, like with those numbers?
So, like I said, as long as I have 25 people that I'm talking to on a weekly basis in my pipeline, I have been super successful. I've never had a week that I don't close business.
Okay.
And yeah, that can be one contract that's worth, 100 million or more, because I've had big contracts, y'all know. Or it can be one contract that is worth $3,000, or even less, but it's one sale I made. It's more money that I had in my bank account that week than I had the week prior. So to me, it's a win. Like I said, celebrate. Even if you have one sale, it's going to get better, you guys, because it's repetitive. Remember, consistency is so important in this industry. So get up, start your day and start preparing. Small steps make a huge difference. Look at I don't know if y'all believe in affirmations. I don't really do affirmations, but I like I said, I grab my stack of leads. I, meditate on, I'm going to sell them. Why? Because they need my help. I know it, they're going to be in a better place because I'm the person that's going to get them there, because I have the knowledge, I have the ability, and I have the tools to help these people. Without a doubt, I always close either one. I mean, now I'm closing a lot more, but when I started taking these steps and just making, and they're silly. Truly, if I think about it, it's a silly ritual to have, but it works for me, and you can have a different one. It can be something completely different, but as long as you're in that mindset that you're getting up, I always get dressed. Anybody that works with me knows that I'm always dressed to sell, because I know that client of mine that gave me that big ass contract would have not given me $100 million if I was dressed in my pajamas. You know what I'm saying? So I try to look my best. I try to look professional. I try to just show up, and I work in my home, you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm working in my kitchen right now. So, but my client doesn't know that, and I'm dressed for success. And, I try to educate myself every single morning, just 1 hour. I spend 1 hour reading on infinite banking, something new, something different that I don't know, or listening to a podcast, or listening to something that's infinite banking that's going to stimulate my mind to remind me, because that's going to help you answer objections. When the client asks, oh, well, what about this and this law, or what happens in this scenario, you can answer the question because you've been educating yourself. And it might not be for infinite banking for everybody. Some of you might want to sell annuities, or some of you might want to sell final expense. Immerse yourself. I had a mentor of mine that said, find a niche and get rich. You guys, that is golden advice. When you pick one thing you want to sell and excel at it and just, immerse yourself and become obsessed with it. And you have those 25 people that you talk to. It might not be a client that day, you guys, but it's still somebody, a prospect. It's a person in your pipeline that might come back to you within a month, within 2 months. I'd rather have it there, call them back in the month 2 or month 3, and they might be ready, and it happens more so than ever. So all right, let me
Just
see.
another really quick, when you said 25 people in the pipeline every week, do you mean brand new, or that's just a consistent
No,
number you want in the every week?
that's just the consistent number of people I have every week.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a person. Yeah, it can be a person, like I said, that you spoke to, but they have interest in your product. And you might have more if you're consistently buying leads. So before I got with Finline, I've only been with Finline for a few months. But I've been in sales for a long time. But and I didn't buy leads for a very long time prior to Finline, because I learned how to prospect, So as long as I had, just from talking to people that might be interested today but weren't ready to buy, as long as I had those 25 folks that I was reaching out to on a weekly basis, somebody is going to close a contract. I promise you. Once they close, then, and remember, every time you're closing and selling, you're getting 2 or 3 referrals from that one close. It is imperative you do that because it's going to keep your pipeline full. And 25 or 50 is the minimum, you guys. I mean, you might have a huge pipeline. I have a humongous pipeline now, sometimes I can't keep up with it, but I've been in sales for a long time. But when I started, 25 was my minimum. So yeah. The way I would get there would be to make 10 phone calls a day to people that were semi-interested. That was my minimum. So if I was calling 10 people, I knew I was going to get another one that might be interested in that pipeline. Not necessarily a sale or a close, but an interested person. So
Thank you.
yes, ma'am. So let's see, who's next? Hernan, talk to me, dude.
Hey,
What
what's
is
up?
your takeaway? Not
I
much,
got a
man.
multiple I got multiple takeaways. So schedule work and prioritize it,
Mhm.
which is kind of funny because I didn't find out expense live transfers, and then when there's like nothing, just waiting for the phone, I was like, maybe I can do something or another thing. So I guess we can easily get distracted when we're working at home. There's no such thing as failure, only
Dude.
when you're quitting. And then
Mhm.
I guess every failure is like always a learning experience, so always getting better. Have production,
Yeah,
follow up, and repeat. So don't be like, oh, maybe I should probably wait and see what happens. So it's like either way, just keep following up and repeat and get more people to have more productions. And then lastly, don't be afraid to use your team. Everyone like Mario, yourself, or anyone that doesn't hear on the call that doesn't have like a license in like Ohio, just use them and then they can help you out too. So use your people.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So 100% agree. Like, setbacks are not failures, you guys. Like, trust me, when you start in the industry or when you start selling bigger or more advanced products, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make them no matter what. I still make them. I kind of learn how to, do them. I kind of learn how to not answer when I don't know really what I'm talking about. Oh, but I was the queen of like, answering it correctly. And I would get called out by my client and then I'd have to come back and apologize. But again, you don't know what you don't know. But the best advice I can give you guys for that is just to say, you know what, I don't have the answer for that. Let me get back to you. Let me find out. Let's just so I can be accurate and I don't give you wrong information. That's the best thing to do. I was a bonehead in the beginning and I didn't do that. So yeah, I would get called out a lot. But mistakes are going to happen. It doesn't mean it's a failure. It's just a learning experience. Now, like I said, try to educate yourself every single day. Read something, even if it's 30 minutes, you guys. The more you read, the more you know, the less you'll encounter, these questions that you can't answer that are, you're gonna mess up on, but it's not a failure, it's just, a setback. So Isabel, your turn.
I think for me it's the same thing as well. Like examine your setbacks and learn from your mistakes because having already been working leads and everything and things didn't really quite work out. I guess it will link a little bit to also utilizing a selling system that works for yourself as well. Like so kind of going back, it can be a little how can I say it? You can feel a little down on yourself if you're not being successful, but I guess what matters is that we give it a try again, and that we're still here, and that we're still gonna try, you know, give it another try. So that's
Absolutely.
what spoke to me. That's my aha moment.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's see. Orlando, what's up, dude? What was your aha moment? I can't hear you, bro. I think you're muted. No.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there-
Yeah, sorry
oh,
about that.
good.
Yeah, no, I think these are all great points. Been in sales also for a while, just in a different type of product, but I think all these techniques are very valuable. I think the consistency part of it, like you say, and doing things on repetition and having that plan, it really helps you keep on track. I notice that helps me with you know, in the past, and I think learning a lot of these new products too. Also, what I've been just trying to do is with the consistency, just hearing something new, podcasts or videos on certain
Yeah.
products to kind of see the different opinions on, what's the pros and cons and how people explain it, and just being a little more knowledgeable. So when, like you said, you do get confronted with a question that you're not sure of, to be able to answer that intelligently, or maybe get that information rather quickly for them. So I think these are really good points. I've used them in the past, and I'm trying to continue starting, in this new venture with getting these
Cool.
systems activated again. But yeah, they're really
Awesome.
good.
Cool. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I appreciate that. But truly, yeah, knowledge is key, man. And the reason I say spend an hour listening to a podcast is because having a three-dimensional point of view on what you're selling is so important, because people are going to come to you and say, well, or for example, I get this one all the time. The Dave Ramsey one, buy term and
Yeah.
invest the difference. Good Lord, it's such a pet peeve of mine. But
Yeah.
I can answer that with my eyes closed, because I just dug in and I started listening to why people, thought it was better to do that. I mean, I still don't believe in that, but I can answer it intelligently, to my clients. And then it makes my clients think, and I'm able to change their mind, and I'm able to, I guess, enlighten them so that they can see why, certain products are better than going in that direction. But in the beginning, man, I struggled with it. I was sometimes even confrontational about it, because I was like, no, you're wrong, but I couldn't explain why they were, but when I started listening to how certain people started explaining it, it made sense, and I was able to my verbiage correctly instead of getting defensive, or telling my client they're wrong, which you should never do, by the way. So but yes, that was very, very important. So thank you, I appreciate that. So let's see. Karina, what was your aha moment, Miss Karina?
So examining myself. So finding that niche is really important. I remember when I started selling insurance, I didn't like final expense, or I didn't feel comfortable. So, but I knew I liked the IUL or becoming your own bank, or those things. So finding that niche was really important for me. It's making me feel more comfortable and have
Awesome.
more success or sell more. Like, for example, sometimes I don't feel very comfortable speaking English. So I was like, okay, let's try Spanish. It's easier for me. I have to start somewhere. And when I feel comfortable enough, I'm going to switch to English. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Awesome. Awesome. That's super important. I always go back to that. And I always tell my agents, when my old mentor said that to me, find a niche and get rich. It is, man, once you become an expert at what you're selling, it's rocket science. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's second nature. It's so easy, because you know your target, you know who you're selling to, and you know the value that you bring to the table selling this product. So I appreciate that. Awesome.
Thank you.
Cool. Chris, what was your aha moment, sir?
I think it was probably the point on just staying positive telling yourself that these people need this product, they came to you for a reason, and you know these people need what you're selling. Because it's easy to kind of get negative or get a little, you know, angry when you get the brush off, or you get people not show up to an appointment, and like you've spent money to reach these people, and they didn't show up, or they, you know, whatever, they didn't answer the phone call after like 7 to 10 tries or whatever. And so, you know, you kind of start saying, all right, this is kind of you know, it's not a good trend, whatever, but stay positive. Like, one of these people is going to need it and is going to want your help. And, you know, going to the numbers thing from the other day, like, it really only takes 1 or 2 closes to start turning things around where you're cash flow positive, and then you're not like, oh, I'm 3 grand in the hole or whatever. Okay, now I'm cash flow positive. And if, you know, you can get those closes in the books, then it's a whole different ball game. And then you can just not worry about, like, I have to close this person anymore. Like, you don't have that sales pressure on yourself, or like the stink of a salesperson, because you can kind of get that urgency in your voice after, you know, you get, you know, 10 or 15, you know, negative experiences on that. So just kind of staying positive and reminding yourself that these people came to you for a reason, and it only takes a couple of positive experiences to turn the tables.
Absolutely. I love that you mentioned that, because I always tell people no's are okay, you guys. Like, they're more than okay, because that person might not be ready. But you know what? It's fine. You're going to be okay. You know, if you get 1 no, just keep your consistency. You know, I'd rather have a no right now than have a chargeback in a month or 2 because my client wasn't ready, or because they weren't financially prepared to make that sale, but I pushed it so much. I was being so persistent that they didn't have a choice. You know, I was taught to sell like that. Oh my God, that's a different story for another day, you guys. But super, super important. Exactly, Hernan. No's can mean not yet. Now's not the right time. You know, let me pay some debt off, and then I can go ahead and move forward with this product. And I have so many clients, you guys, that come back to me within a month or 2, and they're like, you know what, actually, you know, or if I reach out, like I said, as long as you have those people in your pipeline, you're going to consistently be reaching out. Maybe not every day, but maybe every other month, you know, because they're in your pipeline. So you go back, you reach out to them. Hey, are you ready? Like, is now a good time? I just wanted to reach out and ask, hey, you know, if this was still of interest to you. And if not, no worries, no hard feelings. I'm here for you whenever you're ready. And I can't tell you how many times I've been sent either a referral, their child, their husband, their sister, whoever, or themselves that are actually ready to make a move, you know, and to take that step to get, you know, financially free, or you know, build wealth or what have you. But absolutely, no's are okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I'd rather have a no right now than to have a charge back in, you know, a month or 2. So it's a really good point. And staying positive, of course, that's like, it's one of the biggest challenges for me, because I mean, yeah, getting a no sucks, but it's okay. You know, it's better now than, you know, being in debt in a couple of months. So absolutely. So Patty, where are you, Patty?
I'm right here. Oh, I wasn't even on mute the whole time. I guess I wasn't interrupting the call. That's good. My car's on with the AC going.
Okay.
I appreciate your willingness to be vulnerable and share what you do, because I think it's important to hear that. We all have stories that happen in our minds, and I think the default is for it to go into the negative. And if we don't intentionally reroute that to the positive and what you're intending it to be, then working and making calls through that negative story isn't going to help get the result that you want. It's only going to permeate and give you that same result. So it's, you have to intentionally every day create that groove in the right direction to give you the result that you're looking for. Because you can't do it without, eventually you can, but you're going to increase your odds that way. So thank you for sharing that. I don't think it's silly. I think it's crucial. And then immersing yourself in like the actual like products and stuff. I need to do that myself and start like maybe following podcasts or getting some audiobooks. I'm constantly in my car. If you haven't noticed, I do outside sales. So but it's, you know, I've, instead of the radio or a different type of podcast, I can switch it to this because it's idle time that's just can be used productively that way. Right, so that time is useful without it taking any other time out of your schedule. And then the last one is like really like examining where things aren't working and then reaching out to you guys and adjusting quickly, because it's easy to just keep doing what you're doing, and if you're not paying attention, it's like that could be the root of why you're not closing as much or not closing certain deals. So adjusting quickly is important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I 100% agree. I mean, I'm being transparent because that's the reality, you guys. We all go through it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody that I know or have ever known, it was born knowing how to sell stuff. You don't know, you know, you learn it. It is a learned skill, and anybody can sell, but you have to maintain consistency and you have to educate yourself. And if something is not working, just like you said, and just like I said earlier, you have to reach out to the right people, do something about it. You know, if something is not working, definitely something wrong with what you're pitching or how you're pitching, or you know, maybe your tonality, you don't know until you ask somebody for help, get feedback, you know, and you might have a great script, but it might be your tonality that you're using. Maybe you're coming off too strong, you know, and sometimes guys, like, you know, I've had agents that I've helped, you know, especially here at Finline, that they are doing everything right, but it's just something as simple as their tonality that we change, or we change a few words in what they're saying, and it makes a hell of a difference. And their life is forever changed, and it has been forever changed. They start selling. I start seeing consistency. And so yeah, little things like that will make a huge difference. So when you reach out, I mean, we're able to tell you, you know, maybe try this or that. You know, I'm not like the biggest expert, but I'm really good at selling infinite banking, you know, so Mario's really good at selling annuities and so on and so forth. And I can lead you in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? But yes, reaching out is super important. And yeah, I mean, as far as being transparent, that's just the reality. I mean, like I said, nobody's born being an expert in selling anything. So, but yeah, listening to podcasts is really important, you guys. Like, I motivate myself, and again, I'm able to answer all this. I follow Chris Noggle. Again, I think I've told you guys before, but if you can listen to one of his videos every single day when you're taking a shower, I do it in the morning when I'm doing my makeup for the day. So Chris Noggle on YouTube, he only sells and does infinite banking, but he can, oh my God. I mean, if you ever have a client asking or debating, or, you know, just being really, really thorough on what infinite banking is, that's your guy. So everything I've learned has been through that podcast. So, or that YouTube channel. So I recommend that for you guys, but there's a lot more. I mean, whatever you're doing, as long as you have that activity and you're being consistent, it's really good. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Patty. Let's see, Permita, what was your aha moment?
Just the whole thing. I just really appreciate the fact that you shared with us like what your daily routine is and your own struggles and your own successes, because there's something that you mentioned that I can totally resonate with, which is, since we all work from home, sometimes it's easy, you know, with kids and everything, to kind of like, you feel like you're on this straight path, and then suddenly you start to kind of veer in a different direction, and you're not understanding why, and it's just all happening so quickly. And the next thing you know, you fall so behind, and now you're, you know, you're like panicking in your head, and you're like, how am I supposed to get back to there, and what happened? And so I really like your whole routine and everything that you do. So sometimes I try to implement those things, and sometimes I'm thinking, am I the only one that actually like struggles this hard when it comes to my day? So yeah, I feel like the whole thing, like all of it.
Oh, I'm the queen of distractions, you guys. Because want my home to be perfect, you know, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking at it and it's like, okay, if I don't sit here, if I don't glue myself to this chair, I'm never going to get on the phone and make these phone calls. And it's true. And then that, you know, it's happened to me many, many times. And it happens to me consistently. If, you know, I start getting distracted with my schedule. Or like I said, you know, if I've done a huge close and I've had a great, you know, month or 6 months, I'm like, yeah, do I really have to make this call? And then, you know, I'm like, yes, I really do. And then Thursday and Friday come and I'm running around like trying to call 100 people a day. And it's just a nightmare. It's a domino effect. Yes, distractions are pillars of working from home. So it's imperative that you just stay, like I said, just turn on that calendar, get the reminders, get 3 reminders every 30 minutes. I'm telling you, I hear them in my sleep. But they help. They really do help. And there's multiple apps that you can use. I literally only use my Google Calendar because I can't keep up with multiple ones. That's just too much stimulation and work for me. I'm no good at doing, you know, integrating this and that and, you know, too much stuff. I don't have time, frankly. So I just use one calendar, but I'm constantly reminded. And because I help so many agents at the same time, I cannot, you know, I can't afford to not stay, you know, on my schedule. It's super important. And hold yourself accountable. It's easy to get distracted. You know, you have to do what you have to do. You're gonna have to glue yourself. And it doesn't have to be for 8 hours a day, you guys, but just try to make phone calls 1 hour a day. I promise you it's going to make a difference. It's 1 more hour than what you did the last week. Because some weeks we don't make calls. Let's be real, you know. So just do it once a day. I mean, and then if you can do it every other day or every 3rd day, and then so on and so forth, just start increasing it. Like I said, remember, small steps of consistency are what's going to make you successful. You know, I'm not saying start, you know, working 8 hours tomorrow and just sit there all day. It's not going to happen. Let's be real, you know, but if you do 1 hour, maybe tomorrow, and then, you know, you take Thursday off and then Friday again, another hour. And then you just begin getting on, you know, a routine, a schedule, and being consistent. It's going to make a difference and it's going to facilitate it. And once you start getting busy and these phone calls and these appointments, your business is just going to make sense. You know, it's going to be second nature. To me, it's second nature. I just get up and do it because I have to. I don't have a choice, y'all. I don't, you know, like it's just me and I got to make all this money for all these people that I support. So it's, I don't have a choice, but, you know, so I have to. And again, I'm helping agents. So my goal is always to make y'all successful. So, but I appreciate you. Yeah, thank you for that. Distractions are crazy. And man, tell me about it. So, all right, let me see. Priscilla, what was your aha moment, lady?
Sorry, how to get on mute. It's the one I don't like where we have to delegate our kids and all that stuff to somebody else, because I do the 95% of it. And so one, asking for the help and or possibly missing out on something sucks.
Yeah.
But my kids are also enjoying what's been going on lately, and nobody is upset when I say mom's got an insurance call. They get out, they shut up, they go to the other room. All of a sudden people know how to take care of themselves.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I tell my people. As soon as they see a check, man, it's like, oh my God, what do you need, mother? Like,
yeah, like, what else can I do? I'm like, okay,
exactly.
but
what do you need? Like, how can I help you? Like, I'm like, man, I want to go shopping this weekend. I'm gonna need quiet. This is what we need. You know, we're a team, right? I mean, then you only have your family, and I get it. Some of y'all have smaller children. It's not possible, but if you can figure out, just, I mean, like I said, you guys, even 30 minutes to 1 hour of like, or put them down for a nap or figure it out. I mean, get them snacks. I don't know. You know, I started this when my kids were a little bit older, so I can't, you know, I don't have newborns, so I can't really say, oh, you know, just work when your newborn is asleep. Most of the agents that have smaller children do that, which is, man, it's perfect. I mean, I know Sharina does. Sharina works with all her kids around her, so I don't know how the hell she does it. Like, mad respect for you, girl. Like, I've seen her make
it's
sales
hard,
that are
yeah.
unbelievable with all the kids, and dang, mad respect. But nonetheless, she makes the time, you guys. I mean, just make the time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to do what you got to do. And yes, there's nothing better than success. Your family will be like, say less, let me help you. Even if it's 1 hour a day, just figure it out. Yeah, I don't know, go around, you know. I used to free my backyard and just let them run around. And then I was the only time I could make phone calls, because I couldn't do it before, but yeah, that's super important. Yeah.
Yeah,
Delegating.
it's hard, it sucks, but it's worth it.
Yeah, and it's doable. It's doable. You just have to find what works for you and your family. So I appreciate that. So let's see. Luis, what was your aha moment, sir?
I was actually going to say the same exact thing as Priscilla. It was on delegating, prioritizing your time. It comes at a time where you have to delegate something that you think you could do yourself, like you said. Maybe it's like cleaning your house at a certain point where maybe you need to hire somebody and do what's going to bring that money in. But yeah, you got to prioritize that when the time comes and do it accordingly.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a big one. A lot of people don't talk about that because, I think it's super important. It's so important because, like I said, it's not just like delegating what, how to help yourself or what things that can help you. But if you don't do it, guess what? It goes back to what I was saying about distractions. If you don't ask for help, you get distracted immediately. Like I have a really hard time asking for help from anybody, not my family, because that's, they have to help me. But around me, my peers, my business partner, Mario, you will hardly ever see me calling him and being like, bro, I need help with this. I do it more now because he's made it very clear, abundantly clear that he's here to help me. And I know he is here to help me. But it's very rare that I ask, for help for anything, especially in business. But it's so important because exactly what ends up happening is you get distracted. You lose track of time, and then your schedule's all messed up, and then you're putting yesterday's activities on tomorrow's activities, and it becomes a nightmare. So yeah, I appreciate that as well, and it's something that is super, super important. Get the help, any help. Or figure out a way that is going to work for you and your family. So super important. And let me see, last and not least, Sharina, what was your aha moment, lady?
I had a few. You're gonna be shocked at one of them, but I feel like my struggle is always afraid to try because I don't want to fail. I always want to say the right thing. And this one about me. I'm like, well, how would I put this in words? I always want to say the right thing so that I don't fail. And I feel like that's the biggest struggle I do have because I want to be perfect. Like, I just want to close it. So that's by me holding myself back that way has caused me to not have that traction in business as much as I would want. And I need to just go after the nose and just stop being scared to be like, no, anyone turning me down, you walked me through a couple to be like, it's okay that they said no, it's okay. But I think that's my biggest one. And then it's a number game. You put it in my head. I think I said like make 10 calls a day, but I think I'm going to bump that up to 20 calls a day because I want a continuously flow of appointments. So I think those two right there, I was like, yeah, why are you limiting yourself? And then at least one application a week. I think you putting your schedule out like that, I was like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
So
exactly. I've shared my schedule with you actually, via text, and you've seen it's insane. But you have to remember, you guys, the more appointments you have, not everybody's going to show up. So my whole goal is if I can sit down with 2 people every single day, just 2, and remember, I train agents. So one of those might be one of my agent appointments, right? So as long as I have 2 that I know are interested and are going to work, I will always close business that week. Okay. So there's no massive number that you have to do. Now, remember, I do sell infinite banking only, but it was the same when I was selling term and final expense. So yeah, as long as you have 2 people that are 100% interested, that reached out to you, or that you've been talking to for a while, that are like, what, I'm ready, let's schedule it for this day and that day, you're going to close business every week. It's just about going back to the consistency. Pick up the phone, get these people on your calendar. Mario emphasizes doing it in the first 48 hours. That's awesome, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Just get them on the calendar. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to go like the next month, because let's be real, that's not going to happen. If you can get them for next week, it's better than not having appointments next week, right? So you're starting in a good spot next week already. Just get them on your calendar and send them, you guys, those calendars, man, send them those reminders. Send them an email, send them a text. And you know what? I'll be very honest with you guys. I think I've told you this before. I am not very big on dialing. I'm not, because I always say it, I'm super awkward when I'm speaking to a new person. I don't know why. I'm weird about it. You know, you can hear it in my tonality when I'm speaking to people. But what I will always, without fail, do is I will text people nonstop. So if you see me, y'all see me during trainings, y'all see me, you know, when I'm speaking to you, when I'm training you, I'm constantly on my phone, back and forthing and texting with prospects or people I haven't spoken to, because if I don't have the time to dial, I sure as hell am going to be texting somebody. And I'll just do a template, like just one massive text. Hey, I was just reaching out to see if there was still any interest. I know you told me to, you know, that you might be ready this month. I know last month wasn't working because of your, you know, whatever, your expenses, but this might be, is this still a good time, or is now a good time for us to go over, you know, the prices? I did, and I'll just, you know, after that, I'll just bullshit. I found a new carrier that might be more affordable for you. You know, is that something that you want to have a conversation about? More than not, I always get yeses. Yeah, let's sit down. If I can, and I always say, if I can save you money now with this new carrier, hey, let's go ahead and move forward with it. Easy. That's via text, guys. But they've already spoken to me. You know, we've done Zooms together. So because they know who I am, they trust me, you know, so it's like, yeah, let's do it. And I always say after that, so I typically service my clients in two ways. I'll do a Zoom meeting, or we can do everything via text. You tell me. 90% of the time, I'm closing business via text. Because they trust me, because we've had conversations over and over. You know, I've sent them my insurance. You know, I have referrals that they can call, and I tell them this during the first meeting. So it's easy, you guys. Like the three that I sold yesterday, those were all via text. Super easy. I'm not Zooming with anybody. I don't want to Zoom with everybody, you know, but if I have to, of course I will. I'll make the best out of it. We have to, right? We don't have a choice, but most of the time it's via text. It's easy because they trust me. You know, I've been bugging them for so long. They're like, my goodness, let's just get this over with, lady. Like, now's the time. So yeah.
Another one I wanted to point out to you really quick is your reason why. That is the biggest one. Mario had checked me and he said, your reason why can't be your excuse. So delegating jobs, because my biggest excuse would be my children, but that's also my reason why. So that one right there was like, hello, delegate them. I hired a nanny. But yes, your why will push you to the next day, making that uncomfortable phone call, you know. That was my last take.
All right, I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, delegating is huge, you guys. I'm telling you. Once your family starts seeing you be successful, trust me, it's going to be a lot easier. And not just your family, like it's going to be easier to just reach out for help, you know, maybe hire somebody to help you take care of your home. Like, man, I can't wait. Like, just to have somebody living in my home, taking care of my cleaning. Cause I'm like, I like looking at my baseboards, you guys, and knowing that I can eat off of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that kind of clean. I'm crazy clean. So yeah, that is my goal. Another goal in life, my why to where I want to be successful, because I never want to clean my house again. So if I have somebody living with me, it can happen every day, you know, not once a week. No, that's not enough. Let's be real. The house gets dirty every day. You know what I'm saying? So that's the truth. It's the reality. So, all right, you guys. Well, I appreciate all of you guys showing up today. My goodness. I hope you all take some of this and, you know, do something with it. Take this advice. It's only good advice if you actually implement it and take it and do it, right? So I want to talk to you guys again next Tuesday and see if it worked. You know, if like just picking up the phone, like it's going to be a lot more easy now that you have an idea. And if you guys are still struggling, please call me. I mean, I can do, you know, 1 hour of my life on the phone with you where I can reach out to people. I do it with all the agents, you know, that we're having a little bit of a hard time scheduling or just reaching out to people. And you know, if you still don't want to dial, let me know and I can help you. I can, you know, write some text for you that you can send out. Trust me, it's easier than you think. Just a few words. And I don't do long texts, you guys. I just do one sentence. Y'all know how my pitches are. I do one sentence, openings, closings. I don't do, you know, very long presentations. I can't, that's too much stimulation for me. I'd rather do very short presentations and short closes. And again, you know, my clients trust me because I'm constantly reaching out to them. And the more you know your skill, the easier it's gonna get. So look at that baby. All right, you guys. So I appreciate y'all. We're almost there. It's 2 minutes till, but I'll let y'all go. That's all I have. So yes, we can chat for a few minutes. Whoever needs anything or has questions, just stay on and I'll be here to answer any questions. So for the rest of you, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Feel free to reach out. If y'all have any questions or need help with anything. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Maritza.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. All right. What's going on, Chris? Talk to me, sir.
Hey, so, you know, one of the things here in a couple of weeks when I start having, you know, regular paychecks coming in and I can, you know, afford to start back up with some of those leads. I know you guys are having a lot of success with the IBC and everything, but, you know, from like 8 to 5, I'm unavailable, you know, like I'm working, I can't go disappear for 30 minutes at a time, you know? And
Yeah.
so, you know, leaving like nights and weekends open. So from a calling perspective during the day or even a scheduling, like, oh, you know, Mr. or Mrs. Client, you know, I'm available after 6, or I can meet with you on Saturday or Sunday, you know, and they're like, oh, is this not your, you know what I mean? Like, I'm
Yeah.
imagining maybe, you know, inferring that that they might be like, oh, this guy's not full time, he does this part time, he's not really like the most qualified person to be helping me with such an important matter like tax-free savings or debt elimination. So my reservations were more like coming from a professional level of authority, like, you know what I mean, like to where I'm not lowering my status by
So
that.
here's
Like,
what
what
I
are, yeah.
So what I ended up doing with her was I told her, I was like, get your lead order. If you cannot get to it, or if they just, let's just say, because those leads come in fast, you know, they don't, you know, it's not 2 every day. It's like,
Right.
you're going to get. So what I told her was send them the first text. They're either going to book because they're going to book. It's one of those type of deals that they either book with you or you have to call. If you cannot call them immediately, send me the lead or send Mario the lead and I can go ahead and make the schedule or take the call and the whatever, the conversation for you as it's coming in. You know what I'm saying? And we're still going to split it the same 70-30. You know, I'm not trying to make money or keep the lead or anything like that. That's not what I do. But that's how I help that agent. So that's help because she wasn't able to. And it wasn't a work thing, but it was like she only had, you know, maybe 3 hours a day. And it was kind of later in the day. It was super late for me because she was in California, but I was like, no sweat. Let me do this. I'll do that 1 month with you of leads. It's going to, you know, you're going to close maybe 2 really good ones. Well, sure as shit, she ended up making about 50K, you know, with that first batch, which, you know, now she's good to go. Now she doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Now she can get a sitter and all that. And she's solid, like no worries. That's what we did. I don't know if that would help you or if you want total control. If you want total control, that I'm going to say, man, I mean, you can tell the IBC lead guy to just send you maybe a quarter of the leads at first, and they'll send them to you as you need them. You don't have to get them all at the same time, if that makes sense. Because I told him when I was going to start running these leads, because 30 leads to me was not like, I didn't think, I thought they were going to suck, to be honest with you, between you and I. And then when I saw that first batch and it started going so well, I was like, pause on that, because I ordered 3. I was going to order 3 different batches of leads. I was like, if you can send me all 30 in a week, that'd be awesome. And then I'll order 3 orders of the IBC leads every month. Well, I was like, no, pause on that, because everybody was responding. They were really, really solid leads. So, so that's what I did with that agent. We ended up, I would take the call, I'd make, and I would run it, you know, if I had to. If she was available, she would do it with me, but I was, you know, she was shadowing me regardless for that first batch of leads, because she was nervous. She wasn't ready yet, you know? So again, you know, I did all did all the scheduling, I did all the closing, and I would say I was her. You know, obviously I can't say I'm Chris, but what I can say is, I don't know, I think one time we said that she was my assistant and she would do all the scheduling for me. But we can reverse it, you know, I'll just say I'm your partner or whatever. We can say I'll say I'm your business partner and I'm here to take the call for him, you know, but you'll be your person of contact is what I said, because it is
Yeah.
so I said, she's your person of contact. She's going to go ahead and answer any questions that you have. So just send her a text or send me a text if you need to. But if you need to email her any documents or anything like that, she's going to take your application for you. I'm just here to present the product and tell you how it works. So that's what we did. And it worked. You know, we sold a lot. We're still selling from that lead batch. So yeah. Are you there? Oh, I guess not. Are you there, Chris? No? Okay. Myra, talk to me.
I lost connection, but I got the gist of what you said. I got like 90% of it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, if you want to move forward with it, let me know, man, whenever you're ready, and I'm here to help you. Just let me know ahead of time. Let me know.
Yeah, I mean, that would.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that would be a huge help. I mean, that would be, you know, like my big, you know, like confidence moving forward with that, knowing that like they will be when they come in, they will be addressed. They will be, you know, met with somebody reaching out and scheduling an appointment. And, you know, I don't care about splitting commissions one iota because a closed sale is 100% more what you had with zero.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, but yeah, you definitely, it's really important that you reach out, you know, sooner than later, because if you're waiting, you know, till the weekend, it's not going to have the same response. You know, these people are ready and they want to know immediately.
Yeah.
So yeah, whenever you're ready.
I was more concerned about letting them know, like, hey, how about we do an appointment? Oh, by the way, you know, like, does 6 o'clock work for you? And they're like, no, I can only do 2 in the afternoon, or you know what I mean? And then like that's like an immediate bottleneck, or like a pinch in the hose there. And then I'm like, damn, you know, well, how about Saturday? Like, no, I'm at baseball with the kids on Saturday. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't want to set myself up for you know, like a rocky path with that. And you know what I mean? Because if it's all about getting 30 in at a time, or whatever it is at a time, or you know, split them up however it needs to go, like it's you want to close some of them, you know, 2 or 3 of them if you can, to make it work. I mean, otherwise you lit $1,800 on fire.
Yeah, what's the point? No, fuck that. No, I feel you. I know. So no, yeah. Let me know when you're ready, whenever you start seeing that. And yeah, dude, we'll schedule it. I'll do it. I'll set them for you, conversations, and then you'll do the applications. You know what I'm saying? I'll get all the information for you. That's exactly what we did. I literally would. She would do the application. Easy peasy. So
all right, sounds beautiful. Thank you.
Absolutely, sir. Nice talking to you. See you next week.
Same.
Myra.
Hi. So I just signed up yesterday for the course. I'm like at the very, very beginning. But I've been chiming into the meetings and just kind of learning the lingo, trying to catch on to what I can as far as like how the process goes when you're bringing somebody in. When a new agent gets started, what product do you guys normally get them to work on?
So typically in any other agency, they always say start with final expense or mortgage protection. They always say that. I don't recommend that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because they say it's easy, it's an easy sell, but it's volume. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what kind of schedule you have in your life. I don't know if you have children or if you have
so I have 2 adult children, so they're on their own, but then I have a 10-year-old daughter who is my chicle. She's stuck to my hip. But I work Monday through Friday from 9 to 2. So I already talked to Mario in regards to in the future dedicating early in the morning to the East Coast, and then
Okay.
after work, dedicating another couple hours to, here local in California on the West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, that's doable. I work 3 time zones, so I completely get it, because that works even better in your favor. A lot of agents don't like doing that, but it honestly, it makes it easier for you to just have more hours in the day. Having said that, final expense and just regular term are it's a numbers game, girl. Like it's volume and hustle, and you have 1,000 leads and you might sell like, maybe like 20 out of that 1,000. That to me is too much work. I started with that and it's fine. It's repetitive work, so you'll learn. But it costs the same. It costs the same to buy leads, like IBC leads, like participating whole life. It's one product. You know what I'm saying, that you're selling.
So
One
you're
product.
saying that final expense, it's a smaller return, but the same amount of work as, okay.
It's way more work. So regular term and final expense, you're going to make less money and it's going to be more work. Why? Because these IBC leads, so the contracts more from, a $3,000 paycheck to, a $10,000 paycheck with one sale. So if you have a batch of 30 leads, because that's what you're buying every month, right? That's what you're spending. You're spending $1,800. So you're going to get 30 people and you're maybe going to sell, if you're really good, or even if you're just starting, I always tell them, you're going to sell 1 or 2 when you're starting. Again, that contract can be anywhere from, typically I see like the minimum I see is maybe $2,500, $2,000 on the smallest sale. That's one sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the biggest one can be like, I mean, I've done the biggest one, but mine was crazy. Mine was like a gift from God. So that was 300 million. Yeah,
Wow.
300 million. And there's I mean, I see agents doing $1,000 premium. So that's going to be 1,200, or no, I'm sorry, $12,000 with one sale, right? So if you think about it, it's like, okay, I can do $10,000, but I have to buy 100 expense leads, which are going to cost me double from my IBC leads, because you're going to pay the same amount of money for the leads, but your sales are going to be a lot less, and it's going to be more volume, more work, more phone calls you have to be on, more appointments that don't show up, that do show up. And you know what I'm saying? It's easier to sell because the application is ridiculous. It's like literally you ask them their name, their address, their social, and it's sold, their bank account information. With IBC, you have to know how to structure, the policy correctly. I mean, obviously we train you and teach you that. That's not something that's not something anybody's born knowing. But it's easy money. That and annuities, in my opinion, it's easy money.
So IBCs and annuities. So I have no idea what IBC means or annuities. A little bit of annuities. I've been trying to like get on YouTube just to familiarize myself with the verbiage and and all of that. But like, how does it work once I get my license and I start working with the team? How do we determine what product I'm going to focus on?
That's completely up to you. It's how much time you want to spend on it. Now, keep in mind, if you saw final expense or term, that's again more volume, more work. You have to be on the phone, but the pay is going to be maybe like 7 days after you close it. So if you, for example, if you sold one today, in 7 days you'll have your paycheck, right? Now with an infinite banking or an IBC, same thing. Infinite banking, IBC, or participating whole life, those are all the same exact thing. Okay. So it's going to be, it's going to be the type of whole life insurance is that you use it to grow wealth, build wealth, so you can utilize it to borrow from it. So I'll explain what it means and what it is later, but that takes time. It takes about, because it's a medically underwritten, so they have to go get a medical exam to make sure that they qualify. Yeah, so it takes time to pay.
So those are the different depending on what product you're working with a client. Do you guys call them clients? Customers?
Yeah.
You guys call them
customer, whatever.
That is considered the pipeline because there's steps for them to.
No. So the pipeline is going to be the number of people or prospects that you're currently talking to. So any lead that you've reached out to, any person that you've had a conversation with, any person that you're almost like in the process of closing that contract or have them buy the contract. Closing is when they buy the contract, right? That's the close. You close it. So they said, yes, they signed the policy. That's a close.
Okay.
So, yeah, so anybody that's in between, like from the first call to the close, that's your pipeline. That's the number of people. That's that's your sales pipeline. Okay. So some people might change their mind, but they're still in your pipeline. So you can always reach out. You look at and that can be an Excel spreadsheet or a Word document. It's just the list of people that you've talked to. So important to keep track of it because you can come back to it, put it on your calendar. If you didn't close it that day, what I do when I don't close, somebody's like, yeah, I'm going to buy it on Friday. Then I talk to them on Friday and they're like, you know what? I've changed my mind. Can we talk about it next month? Absolutely. Don't worry. I'll reach back out. I get it. I understand life is expensive right now. So what I do is, let's just say, I'm talking to Isabel. And Isabel didn't want to close today, but she says, call me in a month, call me in 30 days. Let me see where my finances are. I immediately put that on my calendar.
Oh, okay.
And I don't throw the
Okay.
lead away. Never get rid of the lead because I paid for it, right? Like
Yeah.
if it didn't sell today, it might sell next month or next year even. I
Yeah.
have people that I reach out to from 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So that is going to be your pipeline. Anybody that you've spoken to, that you offered them your product, that is your pipeline. So,
Okay. And then the last question, because I know it's already been over an hour. Going through, so I opened up the course and I'm, going through the window, the pictures and all that. I remember Mario telling me, because I spoke with him about this the last year around this time, and I did try to get my license back then, but I think I jumped the gun personally too fast in where I was in life at that time. But I did get familiar with, the format of getting your license and studying for it. I remember him saying we can just bypass all the material and then just drill the questions. Is that still?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you study. So girl, when I started in life insurance, so before I did life insurance, I was an executive chef for 16 years. So I knew nothing about insurance or sales. Like I couldn't sell you anything.
Girl, I don't know nothing about
nothing. Like, I didn't know anything about selling, much less like making appointments and talking to people. I mean, I was a cook, I was a chef or, I was back of the house. I didn't have to talk to clients or guests or anybody. I didn't know anything about customer service or nothing. So somebody reached out to me and I saw a job opportunity on, I think it was Indeed or something, one of those, online somewhere. I was looking for more money and I saw, make $100 grand, like in 6 months, your first 6 months. And I was like, oh, I'm sold. So I applied, I got it. And then they told me, they're like, you have to get licensed in the state of Texas. I was like, hold up. Like, what is this license you're talking about? Like, for like insurance? And they're like, yeah, this is for insurance sales and it's a commission-based opportunity. So I was like, can I really make that amount of money or are you just shitting me? Because I don't believe I can, and they told me, yes, you absolutely can. It just depends on how soon you start and how fast you learn and how much you really, like how consistent you are is what they said. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try it. Whatever. What do I have to lose, right?
Yeah.
It was like in the COVID, I had just lost my job and I had just been laid off. And I was like, whatever, I'll do it. I prayed on it and I was like, you know what? This sounds like something I can do. I ended up I remember my mentor, which was not really a mentor. She was just somebody that was contracting me, said, if you can schedule to get the license within 14 days, you're good. Well, I ended up taking it in 7 days. I just opened the book and read it from start to, or it wasn't the book, it was a course. So my course was Exam FX. That's what it was called. And it was all computerized because I can't sit down and read a book, like a physical book. I can't do that. Like my brain doesn't work with that. It's too much, yeah, I just can't. Like I need to see like, activity and, I have to look at it on a computer and like a spreadsheet or not a spreadsheet, but PowerPoint type of deal. And that's how that course was. And I just all day for 7 days, I scheduled it. I went and took it and I passed it and I got a 97%. So it just depends on how fast you learn. Not everybody takes it that fast. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, if you just want to do, I mean, I studied everything, but I can tell you right now, I don't remember half of what I studied. And I did the life, health, and Medicare one. So I did, the whole
Yeah. Okay.
Somebody told me that it was easier to just do the life. They're like, bro, just do the life part. Like, why did you do all those? I was like, because I didn't know. Nobody told me. you know, I didn't know, so.
All right. So my next step is just to make my appointment for the state test. I got to do that soon. And then, yeah. So just my last question, what should I be looking at to get familiar? Like, should I start with IBCs? Should I start just so I don't want to jump, I don't know. I'm a perfectionist girl, so I'm going to tell you up front, I'm going to beat myself up. Like, I'm going to be my worst critic. So I kind of want to jump into this at least with something in my hand where I don't look so lost.
Yeah,
I don't know what product I'm going to start with.
I am like a master. I mean, my forte, like I'm an expert in IBC, infinite banking. So IBC stands for infinite banking concept. And that's, again, it's whole life, right? I would say get into that. Why? Because everybody in the state or in the country is in debt. And it's something you can do that you can use to help people eliminate debt, or it's something you can use, same product. It's something that you can use to help people build wealth. Everybody's trying to build wealth right now because the economy is so fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Like, nobody says no to becoming your own bank, to being rich, to borrowing from yourself. Whenever, you know, if you're paying for something, it's different from an annuity, because an annuity, you pay money, you let it sit for 7 years, but you can't touch it. You know, you don't have access to your money for 7 years. So that's kind of, you have to pay taxes. Infinite banking is tax-free from the second you buy it to the second you die. You know, you can take out as much money as you put in whenever you want within the first 7 days of having the policy to, you know, the last day of your life, basically. And
Wow.
you never.
And that was that guy you were talking about, Chris Noggle?
Huh? Yeah. He's
Okay.
really good. And he'll explain it better. And I'll send you a video right now. In fact, what's the phone number?
909
Uh-huh.
720 7201.
Let me send it to you now that we're on the phone, just so I don't forget. And then save my number in case you have any other questions.
Okay.
Or if you need help with studying or anything, I can definitely help you. Let me see.
And I'm like so terrified.
Why?
Just because I don't want to fail. Like I just don't want to fail. I don't have like, if I don't make this happen, girl, like
You're not gonna fail.
yeah.
The only way you'll fail is you quit. Remember what I told you today? I was terrified too. I had no idea what I was doing, and I didn't have a mentor. That was the problem. Like, when I started, I lost so much money because I didn't have somebody. I didn't have the guidance. You know what I'm saying? But you're in really good hands with Mario.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I literally have agents that start with me, and I will run the very first appointment for, you know, a month or two with them until they're 100% comfortable. And I'll explain it, and I'll have them with the illustrations. So don't worry, just get through the test. I just sent you the video, so
I got
let me
it.
know if you got it.
Okay.
What's your
I want
last name?
More of your time. My last name's Ocon.
How do you spell that?
Ocon. It's still my maiden name. I never changed it to my married name.
Cool. I've never heard that name before.
Yeah, it is unique. It's actually pronounced Ocon because it's from Mexico.
Really?
But I just say Ocon because we're in America. People don't have that, you know, that Mexican accent. But okay, thank you so much. You did give me just at least a direction where I can focus more of my time, because I feel like there's just so many different products I was like bouncing around, and I'm like, I kind of just want to focus on one for now, so at least I come in being confident in one product. I just wasn't sure where you guys started, but I'll start with the IBC, because that one is like the one that is interesting to me the most, for me personally, because I'm like, oh, how can I get one of those, you know, like. But
same for me. I didn't know about it until I heard it from one of my, I think it was like years ago, from a mentor, and I didn't believe in the product. But when I saw it work for a person, I was like, why has this not been introduced to me?
Yeah.
And I became You know, because I started with, like I said, final expense, then term, and I was selling in volume and all day, sitting at my desk all day, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to sell, but I wanted to sell bigger products, more,
Yeah.
make more money, spend less time working, because
Yeah.
that's the whole being
Yeah.
your own boss, making your own business. All right,
All right.
girl. So
Thank you
any
so
questions?
much. I appreciate your time.
Yes, ma'am. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.